Hey everybody, this is Roger from Roger's Reviews, and Ditch Witch of Florida was nice enough to come over and let us demo the SK3000. This is the biggest, baddest stand-on skid steer in the world right now, and Travis is the sales rep for Ditch Witch of Orange Park, and I bought a few machines from him already, and so now he's trying to talk me into this one. But we're in the market for another skid steer, and we're about to sell our first one. We bought the first Ditch Witch SK3000 Turbo. Has over 5,000 hours on it, and we're still using it to this day. Still making us money, so that was one of the best investments I ever made, and Travis sold me that machine. And the service department over there, that always takes care of me, and they're right behind us, so I can literally drive my machine there and have it serviced. One of the best things I like about this machine is the serviceability. And if you look back here, when you open this bad boy up, you got access right there to your air filter. And a lot of the other machines, if you notice on the market, they don't have a fuel separator. They're smart enough to put a fuel separator on this thing. So fuel separator, bam, right there. You can drain the water out of it, hop on every morning, and just with a few clicks of your finger, have access to drain that. And also too, this has a lot more protection for the rider. If you notice, like on the other machines, you're kind of vulnerable. On this one, you have actually some protection around you. It's a nice wide platform. So me and Travis were actually on here, and we're both pretty big, good sized guys. I'm 250, and I was able to stand here, and he was able to stand next to me comfortably. And basically, you really don't need to do this with this machine. It has a 3,000 pound lifting capacity. You can pick up 3,000 pounds and run with it, not even worry about it. I was actually able to put on the forklift and the forklift extensions and pick up a Toyota T100 loaded down with tools, ladder rack, and a bunch of supplies. So basically you can pick up a T100 stock and run with it, and that's a lot. That's probably pushing 5,000 pounds. Another thing I like is the controls up here. On the 1550 I noticed the throttle controls were buttons. This one here is a nice toggle switch, and you can control it like a lot better. I mean, you can want between, like, I would say almost 1,000 RPMs. I mean, minuscule amounts of RPM at a time with this little toggle switch. And you can bump it up, bump it down. It throttles up nice and smoothly. Also too, all these machines have safety on them, so like when you take off or go backwards, it doesn't jump. It slowly speeds up in both directions. Also too, this has one of the fastest ground speeds I've ever seen. And unlike other machines, it goes the same speed forward as back. So you're not losing any productivity forward or backwards. And in this business, a lot of times you're going backwards, like at least almost 50% of the time. On this machine, the only thing I would change, you can get dual controls. Some people like the joystick, especially for rentals, but as far as we're concerned, we just fell in love with the dual joysticks because if a track comes off, you can pick up one side, control it independently. So this is a bigger machine, so it does have the LCD screen, which, give or take, the smaller machines, I don't recommend it, but the bigger machines, you have the material far enough away from you, I don't think you're going to break it. Another nice thing is this is an option. It has automatic controls for picking up and disconnecting attachments. So you literally do not have to get off the machine except for hooking up the quick attach.
Wow.
Like the two lines, but as everything else is automatic. Another nice thing Travis showed me is when you get off the machine, you can turn it off. There's no keys to this thing, it's a code. If you get off the machine and turn it off, there's a timer in there. So you can actually get up back on the machine, flip the switch, it passes the code section, and you go right on to operating. So you don't have to have the machine running. You can actually jump off, turn it off, do what you need to do for 2 or 3 minutes, jump back on the machine, turn it right back on, and bypass everything and get to work. So what's the fuel capacity, you know, on the, it's got over 10 gallons probably, about 10 gallons. Basically you can run this thing all day on one tank of gas. This is powered by the Yanmar engine. It's
59 horsepower turbocharged.
59 horsepower turbo diesel. And I believe it's tier 4. Optima battery. Just and what's the lifting height again?
Lifting height, 118 inches to the hinge pin.
118 inches. So basically, you can almost dunk with this machine, like almost 10 feet. So even Michael Jordan would envy at this point in his life. He can still dunk, Michael. I don't know if you can. Yeah. Also, too, the difference between this machine and a lot of other machines. This one can basically have the full-size Bobcat, people call it Bobcat, full-size skid steer attachments. So my buddy has this grapple on his Bobcat. We threw it right on here and was able to use it. The strength of this machine, like I asked the ditch witch rep, I said, well, what's the advantage of having this machine over a full-size skid steer? This machine is more compact. Also, too, you're standing on it, so if you have to jump off and do something, you don't have to get up, crawl out every time you have to get off. But pound for pound, dollar for dollar, this is the best machine for the money, because you have a lot more power for a smaller size equipment, so you can get into smaller places and do the same job with more power.
And Travis has been nice enough to donate this machine to us.
Thanks, Ditch Witch of Florida. You didn't have to do it, but we gladly accept your donation.
I just collect the rental at the end of the day.